All right, so join us now live in the studios to talk more on the judgment is Kasimu Bello Megeri, former member, House of Representatives and NEC member of the ADC, also a former NEC member of APC and former board chairman, National Orthopedic Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank you,
News
Mrs.
Hour. All right, so let's talk about today's judgment. What was your first reaction?
That's what we are expecting, because you cannot give what people didn't ask in court. In their earlier judgment in trial, Court of Appeal, there was nothing like maintaining status quo ante bellum. It's just court decided to give this order. And based on this order, the status quo ante bellum, meaning they should go back before the action. What was the action? The action is Arek Beshola and David Mark becoming national chairman and national secretary. If the court said you should go back to status quo ante bellum, meaning they should go back to national chairman as David Mark and Arek Beshola. But unfortunately, INEC on their own they formed their own court and interpreted the judgment in their own interest. So there was nothing new.
But would the other people also not say also the same thing you are saying now, that they should go back to the former chairman?
Because, yeah,
who are the other people in the first place, if I may ask? Have Nafi ever been a national chairman of a party that they said, oh, okay, status quo, meaning when Nafi was chairman?
Talking about the party leadership in general.
Which leadership? One person cannot be a faction. For God's sake, you media, you are giving them so much latitude to come and say anything they want to say.
No, we are talking about the judgment. We are talking about the judgment.
It's
not about the
judgment.
media saying
the judgment said status quo ante bellum. What is status quo ante bellum? Before the crisis, what's the crisis in this matter? The crisis is David Mark have took over from Wosu. Yeah. The worst INEC should have done to say, okay, Wosu should come back as national chairman. But because they are working with government, they are APC units, that's why they did what they have done.
Okay, now going back to that judgment, now going to the Federal High Court and all matters of this, what if the Federal High Court now rules in a different, direction going forward?
Are they going to rule based on laws or based on their interests? Because the law we have today, the Electoral Act and the Supreme Court judgments said internal affairs of the party, no court has jurisdiction over it. So if they are going to give judgment based on law and facts, it's going to favor us.
Okay, so what's now the next step, especially as INEC has not recognized the David Mark led?
I heard you reading news. You said Supreme Court ordered them to recognize David Mark. Meaning David Mark will go back to his seat as national chairman. INEC must recognize David Mark. Then we'll go back to the Federal High Court and listen to what the Federal High Court will say. We should wait and see. But as it is today, the Supreme Court judgment clearly stated that they have quashed the order given by the Court of Appeal. Meaning, based on that order that INEC acted by removing David Mark lead executive list from INEC. So they are ordered now to restore the name. So we'll go back and David Mark will take charge of ADC when we are going to court and see what the court will say.
Okay, so are there plans for the ADC to move forward in terms of primaries, getting candidates? Because 2027, a lot of Nigerians are still neither here or there in terms of the viancy, of the ADC.
When INEC list our name, we have not stopped doing our activities. We went ahead with our congresses and national convention. So now we'll go straight to INEC, we'll submit our letter stating the date and venue for our primaries. We'll go ahead and they must obey by the Supreme Court ruling because there's no court after Supreme Court.
Okay, but the Supreme Court is saying that you should go back to the former in order to get everything sorted. So until that is done...
Please, I'm coming. Don't confuse Nigerians. Supreme Court said we should go back to the trial court.
Yes.
So the trial court will listen to the substantive matter of the case. However, they said the order given by the Court of Appeal is wrong. What was the order? They said we should maintain status quo ante bellum. Meaning, INEC should recognize David Mark lead leadership. So if we have David Mark as leader, what do you expect us to do?
Okay, so we'll wait on INEC to get all that resolved for now. Thank you so very much.
They have no option.
Thank you so very much for joining us. You've been quite insightful. And I can see how incited and how, you are about this issue. But we can understand that.
Facts are there.
We can understand why you feel the way you feel. But we wish you all the best going forward. We've been speaking to Kasimu Bello Megeri, former member House of Representatives and NEC member of the ADC. He's been speaking to us about the outcome of today's judgment at the Supreme Court. Thank you.
The Supreme Court has also dismissed the appeals filed